Chabad of Melbourne CBD, to Rabbi Zvi Telsner, the Dayan of the Yeshiva Centre, to all of the rabbis of the Chabad communities of Melbourne, to all of our members of Parliament who are here tonight, and there are many members of Parliament, to Ted Baillieu, the Leader of the Opposition, Tony Lupton, the Cabinet Secretary, Mark Dreyfus, who's here tonight as the newly elected Federal Member of Parliament, to the many state colleagues who are here with me this evening, to all of the Jewish community leaders, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. Can I begin my remarks too by saying Happy Chanukah? And I'm told that the last time the lighting ceremony was here at Parliament House was 3 years ago, and it's a pleasure to welcome you back tonight. Tonight we're celebrating two significant milestones. Firstly, we're celebrating Chanukah, an event which symbolises the triumph of light over darkness and the importance of faith and courage. And secondly, of course, we're celebrating, as we've heard, the 10th anniversary of the Chabad of Melbourne, an exceptional organisation which in so many ways symbolises the extraordinary contribution of the Jewish community and the contribution that it's made to Victoria over the last 150 years. Over the past decade, the Chabad of Melbourne has grown in both size and reputation. You now draw huge crowds of Jewish business people and young professionals. You are the first point of call for Jewish tourists who are visiting Melbourne. You provide pastoral care with home, hospital and office visits, and of course volunteers who provide crisis and grief counselling for all of those who need it. And it is fitting, I think, that this ceremony is being held here tonight. It was, of course, in Bourke Street that the Melbourne Hebrew congregation established its first synagogue in the 1840s, and it was 145 years ago this year, that successful Jewish merchant Edward Cohen became mayor of the city of Melbourne. And today, of course, you look at our state today, Victoria prides itself on being home to the largest and I think the most vibrant Jewish community anywhere in Australia, and we also pride ourselves on being one of the most diverse, welcoming and harmonious places in the world. And as you know, we live in a state where 40% of our population, 42% in fact, was either born overseas or has one of their parents who were born overseas. No community in Australia is as diverse as ours. Our government has certainly worked hard to protect and promote this diversity by ensuring that all Victorians retain the right to practice their different faiths, to speak freely, to celebrate their diversity and to live without fear of discrimination or vilification. And tonight I want to thank everybody here tonight for helping us to strengthen that social cohesion and understanding across the state. The Jewish community's contribution to that, I think, has been very, very significant. It's been integral. You've made a major contribution to the enactment of groundbreaking legislation, including Victoria's Racial and Religious Tolerance Act and, of course, the Multicultural Victorian Act. Both great acts, I think, which protect against discrimination and vilification. Your support was also very welcome during the development of initiatives including our government's Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities, introduced into the Victorian Parliament this year by the Attorney-General, Rob Hulls. Obviously, it's important to remember on an occasion like this that we should never take our safe and inclusive society for granted. We need to take every opportunity to build respect, to build understanding right across the community, and to ensure that racial and religious harmony remains one of Victoria's greatest strengths. And there's no better time to heed that message than Chanukah, a ceremony that reminds us of the importance of light over dark. In conclusion, can I tonight acknowledge Rabbi Herzog for his dedication and for his hard work. Rabbi Herzog and all of his colleagues at the Chabad of Melbourne have forged strong relationships over the last 10 years, and I know I speak on behalf of the whole Victorian community when I say we have nothing but admiration for your commitment to Jewish Australians and to the wider community. On behalf of the people of Victoria, could I congratulate the Chabad of Melbourne on 10 extraordinary years, very successful years, and wish you all a very happy Chanukah.
Thank you, Mr. Premier. I'd like to call upon the Leader of Opposition, Mr. Ted Baillieu.
Thank you very much, and can I acknowledge Rabbi Herzog and the Premier and other rabbis, leaders of the Jewish community, members of Parliament and distinguished guests, one and all. Can I say, first of all, welcome to this very special place, Queen's Hall. And you only have to think back 160 years ago. 150 years this building's been underway. 160 years ago, this was but a hill, Eastern Hill. And this building and this space, Queen's Hall, is a tribute to a group of people, then barely 30,000 people, who had the vision, had the conviction, had the faith, had the cultural surety to build a place like this as a symbol of democracy and as a symbol of all the things we hold precious. And I think it's appropriate that we stand here tonight on the 10th anniversary, to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Chabad of Melbourne, and to recognise Chanukah, to celebrate Chanukah and the symbolic lighting of the menorah. And I think these events reflect the events in these chambers, albeit so many years apart. And we heard Rabbi Herzog talk about the triumph of goodwill over evil. And sometimes we hope that that's what happens in here. Sometimes. Not always, but there is no doubt that Chanukah is a wonderful celebration of a community that's made an extraordinary contribution to Melbourne and to Victoria and indeed to Australia. And I always regard this building as a reminder that there is nothing that passionate people can't do. Nothing that we as Victorians can't do. And Chanukah is a reminder of that as well. It is a triumph of faith and culture. And I simply want to add my congratulations to the Chabad of Melbourne and to Rabbi Herzog and all of those who do so much great work, and to join you in celebrating Chanukah and to say, Happy Chanukah, Chag Sameach, Chanukah Sameach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey, Leader of the Opposition. We are now going to take part in the official ceremony of the lighting. The Premier will assist me in the lighting, and everybody will sing along. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosov v'tzivanu lahadlik ner Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim b'avoseinu b'yomim hahem b'zman hazeh. Amen.